In today's lecture, we can able to learn OFDM. There is orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So OFDM is one very advantageous modulation method we have in wireless communication, and this is somewhat advanced to frequency division multiplexing, whereby we can able to use this in digital multi-carrier modulations. And here what is the main thing is a large number of closely spaced orthogonal subcarriers are actually used to carry the data. So a simple way to understand OFDM is it is somewhat advantageous to the normal methods we have in FDMA, TDMA or CDMA, because the drawbacks we had faced in this all the multiple access carrier methods have been solved in OFDM. So one can be like a delay spread due to multipath propagation or frequency selective fading, and also intersymbol interference, and so these all drawbacks we can solve in OFDM. So these are the normally occurring problems in communication, and these all things will be set correct with the OFDM method. Also, when you say about the application of the OFDM, we can say that it is used in LTE, that is 4G LTE, and LTE means we know that long-term evolution. Also it can be used with LTE advanced and LTE WiMAX. And another important thing is here high data rate we can able to send in OFDM. Delay is very less, so lesser delay means on the rate of 0.1 microseconds. Then in OFDM, since we are using the orthogonal carriers, we can able to send data without any kind of interference, because we know intersymbol interference is a major factor here in the communication. So the actual data we have been that will be divided into several parallel data streams, and then we will try to modulate that, and each one of the carrier will be modulated with any of the modulation methods like QPSK or QAM or like that. But when it comes to OFDM, we can able to send more data rate, which saves the bandwidth. That is the main thing. So such like advantageous things we have in OFDM. So these were the applications which I mentioned now, with the relevant to long-term evolution, then digital video, audio broadcasting, then LTE WiMAX, like that. So when it comes to the waveform of the OFDM, you can find here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 carriers you are observing. So in this picture we have 4 carriers. This pink line, that is its peak level. This is a peak level of that. So the peak level of one of the thing here we can say like this is the peak level of this symbol or carrier. At that time you can see the neighboring carrier, green color, that will be null. So here null bandwidth, here peak level, so that we can avoid interference. So intersymbol interference is greatly avoided. When you look on this blue, here also it's a peak level, it's a null level for the neighboring carriers, this green and this violet. So we can say that everywhere we are maintaining orthogonality. So orthogonality helps us to have a good way of saving the bandwidth also, because otherwise we know that in a normal FDM, when you do the modulation with frequency division multiple access, here for every subcarrier we need to provide a guard bands. We need to provide guard bands in between every carrier. So that has been now minimized, because these all subcarriers have been now overlapped. So simple thing is, in our view it looks like overlapped, but it won't cause any kind of interference, and also we don't need any guard bands. We doesn't need any guard bands. That is advantages thing we have in this orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So why we go for this orthogonal frequency division multiplexing? That is another important thing. Here it will adapt to severe channel conditions, because we are dealing with free air. Free air is a media whereby the information we transmit from one antenna to another place at the receiving spot. And also we can say that robust against narrow band co-channel interference. So robust means strength against. Then also it prevents ISI, and also fading which caused by the multipath propagation. Then also when these things are happening in OFDM, then we can have high spectral efficiency as compared to the normal modulation schemes. Then also efficient way we can able to implement the fast Fourier transforms. Then low sensitivity to time synchronization errors. Then the basic principle of the OFDM we can say like data to be transmitted is spread over large number of carriers, and each carrier will be modulated low rate, and also the main thing is the carriers are orthogonal, and the total available spectrum will be divided into subbands, and multiple number of carriers we can able to combine and we can able to send. So with the low space, low bandwidth, we can able to forward more datas. That is advantages thing we have in. So when you look on this diagram, this is the input side. If you have a serial input data stream, that will be forwarded through this modulator section, and in the receiving side we use a demodulator to receive that. Here what you can observe is the serial to parallel conversion will be done here with proper mapping, and also we go for the inverse fast Fourier transform in representing that in the signal form. Then for safeguard we add a cyclic prefix. So cyclic prefix help us to prevent that is overmodulation, and also slight overlapping of the pulses. Then it will be converted again to a serial. Then it will be transmitted in the analog form after proper filtering. So the information which we would like to send is in the form of x of t. Then we come for the receiving side. We have the demodulator. Here again, after proper filtering, we will convert the analog into digital. Then we remove this additionally added cyclic prefix. Then we go for the endpoint F50. So the fast Fourier transform will help us to recover the original form of the signal with the help of the equalizer, because in the receiving side we use the equalizers. Then finally we will take on the exact signal, that is the information. So thus between the transmitter and between the receiver we can able to have a good way of communication with the OFDM, that is an efficient way of communication. Then coming to the features, we can say like symbols are modulated in orthogonal fashion. Modulation with IF50, that is inverse to fast Fourier transform. Then orthogonality maintaining. Synchronization can be achieved very well to detect the frames, and demodulation can be done properly, and if needed we do the channel equalization, and also decoding will be done. So then some issues we have with OFDM, that is like intercarrier interference. Then somewhere we can observe peak to average power ratio. Then change of the frequency due to Doppler effect. Then distortion problem will be causing some slight power variations. Then very slightly frequency errors will be there. So overall we can able to have a good way of communication with the orthogonal frequency division multiplexer. So here the main thing is the high data rate in wireless system. Then it is immunity to selective fading, so more resistant to the frequency selective fading than the single carrier system. And here also we can say that it divides the overall channel into multiple narrowband signal. that are affected individually as flat fading subchannels. So in the process of dividing the main bandwidth into subcarriers, and by maintaining the orthogonality, we can prevent this kind of frequency selective fading. Then coming to the resilience to interference. So interference appearing in normal way of communications like QPSK, QAM like that, or in FDMA, TDMA. So these all can be minimized with saving the bandwidth. Then overall we can achieve spectral efficiency. So even though the carriers are getting overlapped, but we have a certain advantage in that we will maintain the spectrum. So spectrum efficiency is very high here with the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, and that is why in today's 4G, 5G and long-term evolution, in all these kind of applications, today we are utilizing orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Okay, that's all for now.